Yeah. So the Eternals was really pretty to look at. I'm still kind of on the fence. I like this first trailer. So Marvel finally released a first look at the Eternals, which has been long overdue, and also Snake Eyes movie. This is how you do a teaser trailer. It's like double the length, and it's still just as teasery.
Yeah.
I don't mind this trailer, but I think it's far from great. That being said, it is still just a teaser trailer. So it basically shows this group of individuals, the Eternals, that, judging by the name, they've lived for thousands upon thousands of years. If not, they are eternal. And they've more or less been watchers of Earth. And now something is propelling them to be involved, which that at least gets me interested, going, okay, so you sat on your hands when the Chitauri attacked in the first Avengers.
Yeah.
You sat on your hands when Thanos was here. You definitely could have sat on your hands saying Ultron. That was not a threat whatsoever. But
No.
You sat on your hands when Thanos wiped away half the universe. Now you're getting involved? Oh, that's really bad then. If you're just now getting involved, meaning there's something worse on the horizon. I think it's still too early for Galactus. But you're right. If nothing else, this looks pretty. Was it just me, or when the ship comes out of the cloud, not out of the clouds, when it becomes visible and it's floating above those native people on the cliff, I kind of got Star Trek Into Darkness vibes when the ship comes out of the water and they fly above the volcano and the natives see them for the first time. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh, you're exposing yourself to people for the first time. They don't know what this technology is. It looks a lot like that.
It looks super cool, and like the basically saying the first city that was really successful is from them, and it looks mysteriously a lot like what Babylon, like in Assyria, looks like. That's so interesting. Anyway, and there's no record of where Babylon actually was. That's so weird. Anyway, no, yeah, it's a beautiful trailer. We didn't really get an introduction to who all the characters are, besides, hey, this guy does this person is kind of good at this. These two people are in love, and that's their thing, I guess.
So, like Hawkman and Hawkgirl? That's like their only thing?
So, my question for you about this trailer, and it's no real merit to it at all, but how'd you feel about the ending of this trailer, where he's like, well, I could do this?
It's not what I thought you were going to ask about, but okay, this is a much easier topic to tackle than the other question I thought you were asked. That I'll address that. I didn't mind the stinger, because to me, it's the hook to the casuals, going, oh, you mentioned Captain Rogers, which I appreciate that they didn't say Captain America. They said Captain Rogers, because they're just like, oh, no, Sam's Captain America now. They said Captain Rogers and Tony Stark. I think that was the hook to go, like, to my parents or to someone that I know that doesn't follow it. Like, we've been tracking the Eternals for what feels like years since they first announced this. Like, we've known this is coming. But for more casual people that will be like, yeah, I'll watch the next Marvel movie when it comes out, but they don't keep up to the day-to-day stuff. I think that was more or less what that hook was for, because without that, you would not have any clue whatsoever that this is in the MCU, which I think is both a good thing and a bad thing.
Absolutely.
It sets that this is very much on its own platform, its own thing. However, it'll ultimately tie into the MCU, I'm sure, in massive, massive ways. What I thought you were going to ask me about, because it's a much trickier question, and believe it or not, it's the thing that's the most people I saw online debating is, what did I think about the color scheme? Because I'll be honest, I am kind of getting sick of, I know I bag on Snyder a lot for this, but Marvel is also guilty of this too, is why are superhero movies afraid of color? Like, I get that this movie's supposed to be looking super, super realistic. We kind of expected that because director Chloe Zhao, who did Nomadland, which is very in the world, very earthy, very grounded, and I kind of expected that same tonality for this. However, I'm just like, can we make the suits pop a little bit more? Essentially, these guys are gods. Can we make the Can we make the gods' suits a little better in terms of color? Like, make them stand out from the world that they're on more so. I don't need you to go full Clash of the Titans, in which case the only thing you can see is the blinding light from their uniforms. But, like, make them... I know some people are just like, well, they're trying to make them look realistic. Aquaman and Shazam have great color palettes, and they leap off the screen more so than whatever is in the background. I kind of would like the same thing here, but that's really my only nitpick here. And it's not just this movie. Marvel has had issues with this forever. I still think the airport scene in Civil War is very, very bland color-wise, but a lot of people have brought that up.
Yeah, it's... I can totally see... And see, that's like... I go back and forth on it, especially with this trailer, because all of the gold stuff, like whatever their powers are, what they're doing with all the little gold ribbons and stuff, like pops hard, and it looks beautiful. But yeah, like all of their costumes are really, really muted. So I don't know necessarily why that is. I don't know, man. I mean, because Marvel is definitely... how like you said, that definitely like they do basically the same color palette for every movie,
except basically. For like Thor Ragnarok, which I love the color palette for that though.
Yeah, but that's because Taika Waititi is involved and he does whatever he wants.
Well, also, Guardians Volume 2 has a really vivid color palette. I think it's they want other planets to look a certain way and Earth to look a certain way, but like when I read Fantastic Four or Spider-Man, like those are bright and vivid, and I kind of want the same thing for the movies, and that's just my super nitpick, and I understand that. But if Aquaman could pull it off, and I know Aquaman wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but it's still my favorite DCEU movie because it was a movie, but it also respected the source material. Like, it feels like every big action set piece is just those 2-page splash pages from a comic come to life, and I really, really love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's I think some of the stuff in this trailer, it just feels like comics come to life in a certain aspect. And to their credit, and I think you and I have kind of mentioned this before, I see Marvel kind of flexing their muscles while the color palettes are still a little muted. Costumes are getting really comic book accurate here.
Oh, those costumes look awesome. Just brighten up the saturation a little bit more.
Yeah. But then again, maybe that's just that part of the movie, because we only see them in the section of the movie where they first come up. So who knows?